Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Sagay. What happened to John? John, I need to see you, my friend. Turn your camera on if you don't have it. But I'm here today with John Thiongo, who's our guest, and we're going to talking about taking dominance in the restaurant industry in Kenya. John, oh, sorry, his electricity has low tension. Over the there he is over the restaurant industry in Kenya, and so we're here with a leader in hospitality. By the way, John will be our guest at the Nehemiah E-Community Global Forum, and on that global forum, he's going to be dealing with some strategies and techniques as to what has made him have a level of dominance. Let me tell you a bit about John. Well, first, let me tell you a bit about this global forum we have coming up. If you've not yet registered, team, please put a link up there. If you've not yet registered to the global forum, I highly encourage you to do so. Because this global forum, we're going to kick it off with. Let me actually read this for you before I. So when the jungle faces a desert season, every animal goes into survival mode, and many do not make it, besides the one who consume the least resources or are the least threat, and of course, the king of the jungle. Today's marketplace environment feels like a desert-like season because there's spike in unemployment, global pandemic, and reduction in consumer spending, with 43% of business temporarily closed in the United States and 8% unemployment. How is your business doing? Would you like to learn Kingdom strategies, not just to survive, but to thrive? And so in this global forum, you'll learn success traits from the king of the jungle, the lion. We're going to give you illustration of how the lion maintained his dominance in the jungle. We'll look at characteristics of success and dominance. We'll learn best practice from other kingdom entrepreneurs like John and how to survive and thrive. We'll hear case studies and how John and others are dominant in their industries. And you'll also get a chance to connect with other kingdom entrepreneurs from around the world, from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, from North America, from Latin America. You're going to get to connect with at least 7 other entrepreneurs as we go to these connect meetings through forums. So this is going to be an exciting time. So with that, let me tell you a bit about John. So John Thiong'o, he's an author, by the way. He's also the winner of the 2020 Kingdom Business Award. He's an accomplished business consultant who claims the title of trainer, speaker, community mobilizer. His book that he authored is called Becoming Maverick, and I've gotten a copy as well myself. And he's also the vice chair of the board of trustees of Life Spring Chapel. And for over a decade, he led a team of consultants, managed over $2 billion, a $2 billion trust fund. He also has controlled several other high-profile assignments. He's a serial entrepreneur who runs a group of companies spanning to hospitality, real estate, telecommunication, and fitness industry. He is happily married to the beautiful Rachel Thiong'o, and they both have 4 children. The King of Nairobi. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Thiong'o.
Thank you very much, Patrice. It's great to be here with
It's
my
good to be with you.
Thank you very much, sir.
And like any king, you're going to be roaring, my friend. You are roaring. So, you're based out of Nairobi, Kenya. And when you think of Africa, and you don't necessarily think of dominance on the global stage, and that's kind of sometimes, in other words, John, people like yourself, we don't often perceive them as being born and bred in Africa. And so first, let's dispel the myth that you're not an exception, but there are many other John Thiong'o. So speak to us a bit about, to our international audience, in terms of Preserve Africa, that what we see of you and what we're going to hear today is not unique and is not just a one-hit wonder.
Yes, you're right, Patrice. It's true that for a long time, Africa has been looked by the world through the eyes of the typical things that come out of Africa and what people see. That is poverty, lack of infrastructure, capacity, human capacity, and many other problems that have defined Africa in the past. But look, Africa is rising, and Africa is giving the world a lot of opportunities. And those of us who are in Africa, those of us whose mind are modeled around biblical entrepreneurship, are taking up these opportunities. And we are rising, and it's exciting. And there's nothing more exciting than joining the community of global entrepreneurs, and especially the biblical entrepreneurs, to talk about the space that is coming up in Africa. But I can tell everyone out there, there are exciting opportunities back here in Africa. It just requires entrepreneurs who are willing to, to fold their sleeves and get into it. The opportunity for return are great, and we are reaching perhaps at the best season for Africa over the years, and we're excited to be in that space.
Amen. Amen to that. Is that because you could have been in England, you could have been in America, Australia, even wherever, but yet somehow you choose to be in Africa? Is that part of why for you?
Yes, it's by choice. And while my life before getting full into entrepreneurship, I was a consultant, and with one of the biggest consulting firms in the world, PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, for 15 years. And I traveled the whole world, so to speak, doing consulting and training. And that exposed me to the world as it is. And when I took early retirement and I said, I want to focus on my own business, I want to focus into entrepreneurship, I was fully aware about the opportunities out there, but I had seen very clearly that there are many opportunities also back here at home. And therefore, it's my preferred choice. It's what I love doing. And I can say with confidence that it just requires someone with the spirit of a lion, and opportunities are there.
I love it.
This topic is very interesting for me.
I love it. And speaking of lion, you guys in Africa know something about lions, right? That's where the king resides in real terms.
Exactly. They live a few kilometers from our homes.
I love it.
We coexist, and we have learned from them.
I love it. And we're going to get into that. This podcast, of course, is going to be available to all of those who are part of the forums, because we want to go deep with these guests. Because on the forum, we're not going to have time to get intimate. And so we want to get intimate here. So John, first of all, thank you. I've had the privilege of coaching with you and seeing you go through the Big Entrepreneurship Program. What an honor. Somebody of your stature, of your credential, of your pedigree, to come alongside and just let us, let us have the privilege to coach. It's like coaching Michael Jordan sometimes, man. So it's kind of exciting.
It is very humbling for me, and thank you for the opportunity.
Well, let's talk a bit about what prepared you, because when we talk about dominance, well, before we get to it, let's talk about this animal called the lion. And, in doing my research, some interesting things come about the lion. It's a predator, but lions don't kill just to kill. They kill. They kill for food or as a defense, and that's an interesting characteristic about them. And then lions tend to leave leftovers. That there are animals in the jungle that feed off of the left of the lions. And I often tell people that if you're gonna dominate an industry, be prepared to leave leftovers, There are people, there are hyenas who's gonna eat from you. Let's speak a bit about those characters. When you hear that the lion, number one, he doesn't kill just to kill, but he kills as a defense or to eat. And secondly, that he leave leftovers, so that there are people who feed off of his leftovers. And what comes to mind? What do you think about those two characteristics?
Yeah, that is very interesting, Patrice. And every time I think about that attribute of the lion, it teaches me a lot of things. One thing is that, as you said, the lion kills not just for the sake, but to get food for itself and maybe the cubs that it has. And that already directs me to a leadership quality. For us who are in leadership as entrepreneurs, leading our businesses and our people, it points to the whole thing of doing business with purpose, getting into entrepreneurship with a purpose, with a clear vision, a vision that carries not just your dreams, but the dreams of a whole ecosystem of linked interests. And that's very interesting, that a lion will not just kill for the sake of it. So for me, what I pick from that is that I must have, even as I go into business, it has to be for a particular purpose, a clear purpose, a clear vision. Because when you're guided by that, then whatever you do, it will be clear to everyone, and it will be appreciated. And I think, unlike other animals, you see that the lion has distinguished itself in terms of the way it hunts and the reason for its hunting. The other thing is just the whole issue of when a lion kills the prey, many other animals in the animal farm or kingdom will depend on that prey. It's like this in Africa. We also talk about like a fig tree, that big tree. A lion is like that, because many other animals or birds in the ecosystem will then depend on the effort of the lion. And that's a very exciting thing to know for those of us who believe in God, that whatever we are doing as entrepreneurs will feed many people. A lot of people will get their livelihoods from there, and a lot of people will find their life meaning through the initiatives, through the businesses that we have started.
Wow. So, as you were talking, my mind went to an abundance mentality, because if you want to just kill for yourself, you're not going to dominate. But if you are okay with people feeding off of you, now that's an attitude of dominance. Wouldn't you agree?
Exactly. The dream has to be bigger than you. It has to accommodate many other people, many other stakeholders in the ecosystem.
Wow. Another thing about the line, and I'm going to talk about how the Lord prepared you for this. It has clear strengths. It's indomitable. It's quick. Its dominance is very clear. There's no confusion. It has very unique. By the way, it's also a very beautiful animal. Let's talk about that, because as you're dominating the hospitality industry, even as you get into real estate, you have other sectors as well. We're going to get into that, but you came out of corporate as one of the top consultants in your space with one of the top firms in the world. So my question to you is, when you go back to John Thiongo, the boy who came up in Kenya, yes, what prepared you for this? Was it parenting? Was it education? What prepared you for this?
I think, Patrice, it's a whole combination of many factors, and indeed a lot of things contribute towards shaping us up for our future and our destiny. And in my case, it's a combination of parenting. I was raised from a single mother who was a peasant farmer, not much resources, but she had clarity of thought about parenting. And she kept telling me that, look, son, You are coming from a very humble background, but the sky is the limit. You can get whatever dream that you want, provided you pursue. You pursue that with a lot of clarity and hard work and focus and trust in God. And that message from my mom many years ago, may her soul now rest in peace, put this seed in me that to succeed, I have to put in the hours. I have to chase the dream. Like the lion, it will plan and chase. I had to put in the hours in studies. I have to put in the hours in preparing myself for the journey ahead. But I had also to put my trust in God. And that was magical, combining hard work and a firm trust in God, which I've done since I gave my life to God in those areas of high school. It has worked magic for me. And I think that combination is what I really say prepared me for who I am today. And I take it everywhere, and even in my book, I call those the hallmarks of a Maverick. You have to put in the hours, you have to put in the effort, you have to be the leader that people can easily believe in. You have to have substance and content. Yeah, the Bible says working at it as if giving your best and your all, but then also the trust in God. So that upbringing and the firm foundation in Christ for me has brought a lot of favor on my way, even now as an entrepreneur.
Wow, that is awesome. As you were sharing, I'm thinking, okay, young John Thiongo, as he's coming up and he's coming to multinational corporation, he has to face the reality that he may not be perceived as a global. He may not be perceived as the Europeans or the Americans or even the Asians, and he has to. And then he came from poverty, so he has to overcome the pedigree that he didn't come up. So psychologically, John, because a lot of people watching and listening to us, they say, "I want to be dominant." But I didn't come from a good background. I don't have the appearance or the pedigree. So how do you deal psychologically with that reality as you are coming up? Because see, the thing about lions, they start as babies, right? And then when they're babies, they're vulnerable, and then they have to grow up into this dominant creature. So how did young John deal with that psychologically of the imageries that told them that because he came from poverty, and at that a single mother, and at that an African, and at that, so how did you deal with all that, John, and what was it for you that helped you to overcome that?
A very interesting question there, Patrice, and I would answer that by saying I dealt with that by developing the Maverick mindset. And I love talking about that because that has been the one thing that has changed my life and allowed me to sustain dominance in the marketplace. And the whole thing about developing a Maverick mindset has, for me, has 5 guiding pillars for me. One is defying convention. And I know this can be controversial, but that is what I believe, because the world will tell you that you cannot do. The world will tell you that your time has not come. But I encourage myself and I encourage everyone I meet to defy convention. Keep the world will tell you, keep your head down, follow the rules, do as you're told, play it safe, wait for your turn, ask permission, learn to compromise. That is terrible advice. As a Maverick, as a person aiming to get the spirit of the lion, you have to defy convention. You have to defy prejudice. You have to defy poverty. You have to defy the limitations that the world puts on your way and say that I am able, I will put in the hours, I'll put in the effort, and I'll get to my destiny. And that has to start right from the onset. If you don't start with that, you end up struggling along the way. And one has to find a way of sustaining that. The second thing I say, which is my second pillar, overcoming what you've just described. I have a philosophy of saying and believing that I must be tougher, because we live in a world that sets up a lot of limitations, a lot of barriers for us. And one of the things I believe in is that you have to be tougher than the average person. Being tougher is all about having a thick skin sometimes. Entrepreneurship is not easy. Competition is tight. You have to encourage yourself and say, I am going to make it. I am going to make it beyond this pandemic. Otherwise, if you listen to that other voice, you may end up just pouring out of the landscape. The third thing is what I keep saying also, working at it. And you know, Colossians encourages us that you have to work at it as if you're working for the Lord and not to man. That is that thing that I believe in. And every day I wake up, I say, I'll give it my best. Right from when I was a boy in high school, encouraged by my mother, I kept saying, I'll work at it. There must be a way out. But the fourth, which lines very well with your theme for this, and I really like it. I have a philosophy of saying, I choose to be a hunter, not a herbivore. It's a choice in life. I choose to be carnivore, not a herbivore. The lion knows very well, with a lot of clarity, that it's a carnivore. Its work is to chase. It never allows itself to be chased. I don't know whether you've seen a lion being chased.
I love
And
it.
so I choose to chase opportunities. That means taking some risks, but of course, calculated risks. But I choose to be carnivore. This world has a mix of carnivores and herbivores, depending on your outlook, depending on your philosophy for life. But like the lion, I choose to be carnivore. It means you are a hunter. I am a hunter. Every day I wake up, I hunt for opportunities. I size them up. I know the effort I must put in. Some opportunities carry more risks than others. But that is it. When you choose to be a hunter like the lion, you have to wake up, shake yourself up, remove and avoid the fear, and go for it. And finally, being direct. Being direct is just about having clarity, knowing what you want. When you go to an industry like I am in the hospitality industry, very tough industry, being direct is about knowing the products you're bringing to the market. You know, of course, starting by what is the problem in this market, coming with unique products that address the problem. That is being direct. And of course, it also starts with being direct about your own vision and mission in the market, because everyone in the market is different. But when you're direct, people understand you more, people understand your business, people understand the solutions you bring in, and they go for it. There's a phrase that says, when you have enough clarity about what you want, the whole world actually conspires to make it happen for you. That is the way to win, Patrice.
Wow. I missed number 3. What's number 3?
Number 3 was working at it, work at it.
Oh, I love it.
5 of them. If you get them right, regardless of the background you're coming from, regardless of the odds, you will make it. 1 is defy convention. 2 is be tougher. It's a choice. 3 is work at it, you know, as the Bible tells us. 4 is become a hunter, like the lion.
Wow.
And 5 is being direct.
I love it.
You cannot fail. Regardless of where you're planted, you will succeed with that recipe.
Listen, if you've got nothing but just these 5 things from this podcast, I'm telling you, man, game changer. This is great stuff. So with that, now let's not talk about, as one who then play a dominant role in the industry, what made you choose hospitality and particularly restaurant? Because part of the dominance characteristics is playing to win and choosing the kind of business or the industry that you believe will somehow give you a certain advantage. So what made John Thiongo choose hospitality and restaurants?
My wife reminds me that it was an area of our GPS. By GPS, I mean our area of passion, no, our area of gifting for G. It was within our area of passion, something we are passionate about. In our storyline, uh, it was within our storyline, the story of our life. Let me explain. And this really is the guiding factor for myself and my wife getting into any business. And we say it has to be within our GPS. My wife is very gifted in culinary skills, and it is an even at home, right from home, everywhere she goes, she is talking matters food, she's talking matters hospitality. Our home itself is like another restaurant. We host a lot, and unfortunately, with COVID, we are not able to do that. And so it was very easy for us to get into that. It was our area of gifting, part of the GPS for G. But also, it's also our area of passion. We are very passionate about interacting with people. My wife is a sanguine, and I really support her. I'm the most strict one, but she is outgoing, and she has a lot of passion about it. But our story also, the story of our life is a story of interacting with a lot of people and doing business. We love doing business where we are interacting with people, the surfaces, the aspects. But above all that, in Kenya, in the marketplace, we were seeing the need because we were, for those of us, especially who have traveled a bit, we could see that there was a gap for fine restaurants, fine dining restaurants with good ambience, offering the best of products. Most of what was there are the franchises which tend to be fast food type of restaurants. And we knew that our people wanted a place that they could get good food, a mix of African food, the diversity of the African menu and recipe. And a lot of that was not available. And so we said, we are coming up with a business that will give all that solution to the need that was there. And so, in many words, you can see where this came from,
I love
and
it.
we continue to pursue that dream.
That is incredible. What a great formula to follow if you want to have dominance in this space. But then, John, as you did that, so were you at all concerned about the competition? And because you got some multinationals in that space in Kenya, you've got some folks with deeper pockets with brand recognition already. How concerned were you about the competition, the other animals in the jungle?
Yes, the competition in Kenya for the restaurant industry is quite tight. We have a lot of international players, the international brands that have set up here. Most of them are franchises, and we also have the local boutique establishments. And we were quite aware about that. We did a proper study in terms of the competition landscape, but despite all that, we were able to figure out that if we identify the problem and get a unique solution, the areas that the others were not surfing, we had a chance of succeeding. And I think that is what exactly is happening, because Kenyans already know what they can get at Mavericks, and that is what they come for. And we have refused to become general. We are very specific about the product that we provide to the market that has already a lot of prayer, so to speak.
I love it. Some people would just get another franchise like everybody else, but you chose to build your own brand. You
Exactly.
chose to go from scratch. Now that's tough. So what are things you had to overcome to build your own brand, and how easy or difficult was it?
Wow, that required the spirit of the lion. I can assure you, when we started, and because we got some consultants to help us, almost everything led to, well, if you are to make it in this industry, you need to take a franchise. And Patrice, I'll tell you this: I even paid the first $20,000 to buy as a deposit to buy a franchise. But along the way, the more I searched my heart, I felt that God was telling me, no, John, even you can start a brand and eventually franchise it. Why not?
I love it.
And I lost $20,000, the first deposit, because I had to vacate it. But looking back several years later, I have no, I am not, I have no apologies to make.
No regrets.
I have no regrets. It was tough to start. It meant I had to get all the experts I needed on the table. And I came into it with one resolve that I'll do better than the franchises that exist. Of
Wow.
course, I had to bring in the right people. You can't there's no shortcut to it. But now it is starting to pay off. Now the brand is starting to, is known in the market, not starting, but it is now known in the market. And I am now able to compete at the same level with the other franchises that are in the market. And of course, also with the successful local brands that are in the market.
Wow. But
John, I had to be very bold. And that's part of defying convention right there.
Wow. But John, you are an African. How can an African go against Australian brands and British brands and American brands? I mean, who do you think you are, man?
I am an African with a lot of backing from my mighty God. I can make it.
Amen.
I can make
that's
it.
Incredible.
And in addition to that,
going back to your points, better to be a hunter versus being hunted.
Exactly. That is the essence. That is the spirit. Any other way would have been offering myself to be hunted.
I love it.
So I chose to go out and hunt, and it's not easy. You have to really encourage yourself. You have to really, of course, take the risks, but eventually it pays.
Take me to a day, your toughest day, where you had your deepest concern, not sure if you're going to make it, and how'd you make it through?
Well, I have been there many times, especially in the past, where I was just wondering whether I'll be able to pull through the crisis of the moment. One is when I decided not to take the franchise route, and it was I could feel the lingering doubt about, can I make it, and that was a battle that I had to win in my mind. Yes, it meant I had to lose some money because I had to change the model of the business. But it's a battle. It was a battle in the mind. I could feel the doubts of, will you be able to compete against the bigger boys? But the way I won that was, first of all, to have clarity around the brand and to get people to help me attain that level of clarity that the brand is solid, the way we have designed it and the way we are rolling it out in the market is solid enough. It's unique. It's able to respond to particular needs in the market, because the market has many needs. And the market that we chose, for us, largely we target the middle class, who are able to have a good spend, and who know what they want in terms of the product, the food and beverage project. And once we got that right, it meant getting the best chefs who have the best culinary skills, the best hospitality teams who are able to give heartfelt hospitality to our clients. And once we perfected that, I could see now that we are coming out of that initial challenge. The second challenge has been to sustain that. And that is a daily challenge. That is a daily issue that I have to deal with. And the way I deal with that is making sure that I attract the best staff, and I train them in-house. We have a whole training curriculum for all our staff. I keep them on the edge, on the top of their career. And we have conversation every day. They are coming from the other players in the industry, some of them, and we keep that conversation going. So challenges are there. Currently, it's a pandemic, and the fact that we are not able to serve our customers the usual way where they come and sit in what we call in dining. We've had to come with other models that now respond to the current need. So we are always there. But one thing I've learned is applying agility. Change is constant, but you have to keep coming up with new ideas, innovative ideas, so that you're able to turn around the business.
Wow. We are talking to the Maverick, the lion of the restaurant industry, conceived his own idea, rejected 20,000, lost $20,000, walked away from it so he can pursue a brand that he can franchise himself called Maverick Restaurant. He's written a book also called Becoming a Maverick, where he addresses the characteristics that have really made him. And by the way, this
That's
book
a book. That's a
is a
book, Patrick.
great complementary to this to this forum. As a matter of fact, John, I'm going to figure a way, because I would like to figure a way to provide your book to anyone who signs up for the forum today at our cost. So if you sign up for the forum today, just email our office. If you're listening to this podcast, all you have to do is email us, say Maverick, and sign up for the podcast. We will get you a free copy of John's book. Okay? We will get you, because it's a great complementary to this topic on dominance, becoming the king of your industry. John, what's interesting about, as I heard you talk, you not only were prepared personally, you trusted in the Lord, but you also brought smart people around you. You took training. You didn't take anything for granted. One of the training you took was biblical entrepreneurship. You're actually in the BSA coaching program. Tell us a bit about, with all the training you had, the experts you had, but then you chose also to join biblical entrepreneurship and the BSA coaching program. Why was that important for you, and how has that impacted you on your way towards dominance?
Patrice, is because I'm not just any entrepreneur. I'm a biblical entrepreneur. I've known the Lord and walked the journey with the Lord since I got born again in high school. And through my consulting life, and now as an entrepreneur, I want to be unique. I want to be that person who have walked with the Lord and achieved my broader objectives of service to the God's kingdom. And while I've been to business school cannot give me the biblical values that I need as a biblical entrepreneur. I found that the values of an entrepreneur who is Christian, I was able to find that when I came to BE. And that journey has been very exciting. When I heard about BE, I joined immediately. I became a host. My restaurants became a host, and has now become an epicenter for the rollout of BE classes in a lobby. And I have learned a lot, the lessons, but so much more. My foundation and my principles of how to do business have been transformed. I have convictions about how to do business today. Those were areas I would fumble around, because yes, I had the principles from business school, but linking those to what the Bible tells me about doing business would have been more difficult if I had not joined a Nehemiah project.
Wow, that is exciting. Another thing that you talk a lot about is your partnership with your wife. Because, what's interesting, when you think of Maverick, you think of somebody who potentially going at it alone, but not this Maverick. Your wife is your partner. She's your friend. You even had COVID together. I guess you shared all good and bad stuff together, I guess.
Yes, we share the good and the bad times together.
Let's talk
True.
about the importance of mavericks or dominant kings of industries having partners that they can share in the journey with. How important has your wife been along this journey?
Oh, my take any time is that the best partner to do business with is your spouse. And I have done business with many partners in the past, but I think ultimately my experience is that the spouse makes the best partner for business. And in a way, for Rachel and I, we have chosen the path of growing together, learning together in business. And so it's fellowship at home, it's fellowship in the business, and we have chosen to support one another and to grow our values together in business. It's very exciting because my my eyes cannot be everywhere in the businesses that I have, but when we do it together, we are able to be better, we are able to be stronger. You know, in Africa, there is a saying that if you want to go fast, you go it alone. But if you want to go far, do it with others. But in the case here, for me, the best other is your spouse. And that is the conviction that I have. And that allows me, because she also becomes my accountability partner, even in the business. That makes a lot of difference because there are things she would tell me which another partner, commercial partner or strategic partner would not tell me because it becomes very personal. And for us, we have derived a lot of value from that. And furthermore, it's very biblical because we are tied together and we are in it together. It also makes it very easy to explain uh, my dream and my vision to her because we are in it together and not just sometimes, but all the time.
Wow. Listen to from the Maverick. So some of you guys who think you can go out alone, listen. No success is done alone. If you want to go fast, go by. If you want to go far, go with others. My last question to you, John, and by the way, we're going to have John share some last insight in a few minutes. Don't you go anywhere. Again, if you're enjoying this podcast, please share with your friends, share with others, invite them in. We got a few more minutes left as we talk to John Thiongo, the founder and president of Maverick Restaurants, and by the way, of the Maverick Group, which is multiple companies. We're talking about taking dominance in the restaurant industry in Kenya. He has a restaurant that is really growing in Kenya. Sanya Clovis said, great wisdom. Sanya, thank you so much for watching and being with us. So let's talk about the future of the Maverick man. So 10, 20 years from now, what do you see, John? What will become of the Maverick group of companies or Maverick restaurant?
Wow, 10, 20 years, Mavericks would be a big establishment that will have transformed a lot of lives, both here in Kenya and beyond. And by transformation, I mean we want Mavericks to be the place where employment is created, the place where resources are multiplied. And to multiply resources, we'll take the route of franchising. We want to do at least 10 outlets within Kenya, and then we'll start rolling out to other countries. So the franchising will eventually be the be how to take it to the big league. And so in 10 years, not even 20 years, you will most likely find a Mavericks outlet near you in the USA.
I love it. Being the hunter and not the hunted.
Exactly.
I love it. Hey guys, get ready because we at Nehemiah Project, we're going to blow this thing up and we're going to make sure help John find the right investors and right partners. And John, we want to invest in the Maverick Group. You know, you and I talk about structuring yourself so you can take investments. and we want to see that happen because we want a piece of the pie. Imagine, John, if you had invested in Bill Gates when he first started, right?
Wow.
Microsoft, or in Tesla, in Elon Musk, right? Or in Oprah Winfrey, or in Chick-fil-A, right? Well, you are such my friend. We want to join in. This is incredible. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Don't leave because we want to have John share a few words of wisdom. Listen, if you want to get more from John, David Witter, Nina, AMP with Anna Maria, and Dustin Lively, they're all going to be joining us at the East Community Global Forum on May 26th. Roar like a lion, raw, becoming the lion of your industry. Come, you can learn about lion characteristics, dominance characteristics. You'll go into groups, language specific, French, English, and Spanish, where you get some best practice case studies with group facilitators and coaches. And then we'll come back to a forum discussion with these entrepreneurs. And then we'll go into connect meetings where you'll get to connect with other entrepreneurs from around the world, go deeper in community so that we can transform the world together. Sonia, I want to see you there. Those of you watching and listening, I want to see you there. If you register today and you send us email just says Maverick, right? We will make sure we get you a free copy of John's book. We'll pay for it. Make sure you get it, you get that book so that you can join the movement to becoming a Maverick wherever you are. If you are in Kenya, you want to know more about Maverick and the Maverick restaurants and the Maverick group of companies, just what's the website, John, where they should go?
In Nairobi, you can find us along the Mombasa Road Superhighway at the Gateway Mall, first floor.
Awesome. And then you can also visit them, Maverick Restaurant.co.ke, Mavericks with an S, restaurants with an S.co.ke to learn more. And from there, you can contact John himself and join the movement. If you want to get John's book, go to Amazon, and his book is available, or just register for the forum today, and then write us an email, just says Maverick, and we'll get you a free copy of his book. We'll figure out how to get it to you. If you want to know more, Amos already wrote there, Maverick. Amos, excellent. Amos, we want to see your registration. So when your registration comes in, team, write Amos' name down. His registration comes in for the forum. We will make sure that we get John a free book. Again, if you just write, it says Mavericks, and then and by email or right here on the podcast, and you sign up for the forum, we'll get you a free copy of John's book. John, we should get you to sign it, but in this digital age, I don't know how we're going to do that, but you definitely get a free copy of John's book. If you want to know more about the Nehemiah Project, how we can come alongside you and help you with your business, to help you become a Maverick, and join this community of entrepreneurs that's growing around the world, whether it's in Kenya, Nairobi, or anywhere around the world, visit our website, NehemiahEcommunity.com, NehemiahEcommunity.com. There you can learn about our training program, Biblical Entrepreneurship, Serve, Love, Identity, and Destiny. You can also learn about our coaching program, where coaches like myself come alongside you, help you grow your business. You can also learn about our access to capital, where we can connect you with kingdom investors that can bring compassionate capital along to help you grow your business. And of course, you can learn about becoming a member of the community, one of the fastest growing entrepreneurship community in the world. Membership does have its privileges. So join in and be a part. And of course, join us at the eCommunity Global Forum on May the 26th with the topic, Roar Like a Lion, Becoming the King of Your Industry. If you enjoy this podcast, please share it. You know people that can be inspired by John's story. Africans, African Americans, no matter what color they are, Americans, Europeans, Asians, who may have come up in poverty and wonder, can I make it? Will I make it? Well, if John can make it, God has no respect of person. You can do it too. Share this story, push it out to your Facebook so that others can be inspired by Mr. Thiongo's story. The reality, John, is that people are listening and watching. They're saying, I'm not sure if I have what it takes as John. And they're also saying, the Thiong'o, they're saying to themselves, within this environment, you want me to be dominant. I'm not sure. Well, what can you say to encourage our people that despite what's going on, despite where they're from, despite where they are, that what you said can happen to them as well? If they apply, particularly if they apply those 5 principles mindset of the maverick. But if you didn't hear those principles, let me say it to you again. You must defy the convention wisdom. You must be tougher, work at it. You must choose to be a hunter and not hunted, and you must be direct. What are your closing words of encouragement to our people, Mr. Thiong'o?
My closing remarks is to say that we serve a God of the good times, and also He's still the God of the bad times, God of the valley and God of the mountain. God has no limitations. It is us who define those limitations. We'll call them pandemic. We'll call them a good season, peak and off peak. But our God operates in all those spaces. And provided we come out and say, here I am going for it, I'm taking the risk with a lot of fear, yes, sometimes, with humility, but with a God who is able to take us through. So that resolve has to start from our hearts and from ourselves. And when we take it to God, He is able to give us victory, to give us to help us win the battles. So none of us should give up. We must do whatever is possible, even in tough times like this, because God is watching and God is there to raise us up. And I think that is a resolve that we all must take. There are a lot of opportunities. Crisis comes with opportunities. God is calling us to pick, to identify those opportunities and to go for them. You might be surprised that you're the only one who is seeing that opportunity. Patrice, this pandemic has made a lot of billionaires. They are COVID billionaires, not in the bad sense of it, but in the good sense of it, that they identified opportunities with COVID. They went for it. God was with them, and they have made good money, good return for the risk that they took. And I chose to go with that philosophy and that line of thought.
Love it. You heard it here, guys, from Mr. John Thiong'o, the Maverick, the man who's dominating the restaurant industry in Kenya with the Maverick Restaurant. He's the author of the book, Becoming a Maverick. You can get it from Amazon. Join us on May the 26th, where you hear more from Mr. John as we have the E-Community Global Forum called Roar Like a Lion, Becoming the King of Your Industry. Having said that, Mr. Thiong'o, thank you so much for being with us. Looking forward to May the 26th. Man, with what you shared today, I cannot wait, man. It's going to be an amazing conference. Thank you so much for being with us.
Looking forward to the full session in May 21st. Thank you very much.
Yes. Well, I'm going to pray for you. Emma's, sign up, my friend, because you will get your free book if you sign up. Let me pray for you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents out in your care, just as John Thiong'o said, as you talk about the GPS, the gifting, the passion, and the skills. May you steward them in such a way that one day you will hear those wonderful words. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. He'll now make you ruler over much. God bless you. See you again next time.
Amen.